how deep this goes. I really didn't bring the right gear for this. Holy smokes, that froze up good. Hey, it's Greg Otten here with MaritimeGardening.com, and assuming the soil has thawed out, it's been freezing the last couple of weeks, lower than -10 Celsius at night, and we had a little break today. It's +7 Celsius today. Just like warmed up like 20 degrees overnight sort of thing, and it's going to be like this for a couple days. I've got a bunch of, if you remember that video I shot back around I guess August, if I recall, where I buried a bunch of my fermented pickles right here as I ran out of room in my fridge. I actually didn't bury any more than that because I got a neighbor and they got one of those like extra fridges in their basement that they put you know, extra things in, and they let me take up a couple floors in their fridge with all my pickles, and I just sort of gave them you know, traded some pickles for that. They took a couple gallons of my pickles, but that worked out great. It's easier than digging holes. Anyway, I thought it would be useful. I thought I'd make a video. I did the same thing last year, but I used a slightly different, I hope slightly better approach to this poor man's root cellar this year, where I used a cooler that I buried here. So I thought I'd dig this up today and give you bring you along and have a look at that and see what the result was. So have a watch here. All right, so I don't know how frozen this is, and if I can even get into it. That noise is my kids playing in the background. So it's frozen, but I think maybe I can get through. I don't know how deep this goes. I really didn't bring the right gear for this. Holy smokes, that froze up good. You know what, I'm actually gonna have to pull out the pickaxe. I'll be right back. Okay, now we got the pickaxe. I gotta be careful here because I don't want to break the cooler, and I'm not quite sure how deep it is, although I assume it's below grade. But anyway, you know, I doubt this frost is too deep. Oh, it's in there pretty good. I'd say 8 inches of frost for, it's not even the middle of December yet. That's a lot of frost for this time of year. I mean, this mound is above grade, so of course it's going to be a bit colder than something at grade. But still, that's a pretty impressive freeze for this early in the year, I gotta say. Anyway, luckily this time around I don't have a whole bunch of jars and plastic bags, which, you know, that's what I did last year, and that does work. But as was evidenced in that the video when I dug it up, when I made the hole for this cooler in August, I actually found one jar of pickles that I'd missed last fall and left underground here all winter, and it was actually fine, and I ate it. It was great. So I'm not saying it's going to work in every case. Depends on where you are and how cold it gets and so on, but yeah, that jar was underground here all winter long, and it was actually better than fine. It was utterly delicious. So anyway, we'll see. I can see the lid of the thing here, kind of like digging up buried treasure. You see the white there? I don't know if you can see that on camera. You know, it's good I covered this in plastic. The one error I made when I put this in the ground is I should have treated it like a coffin. I should have put a string around the bottom of it so I could pull up. I did nothing like that, so I don't know how. This is pretty much just flush in the ground. I really don't know how easily it's going to come up. I guess I can use the pickaxe to pry up on it a bit. I really don't have any idea how this is going to work. I should also mention that in this particular video, if you're noticing, there isn't all this wind. There's a problem in a lot of my videos. I'm always complaining about wind. I just bought a new camera and a new mic, a camera with an external mic port, and a mic, what they call a shotgun mic. I didn't know any of this terminology until a couple days ago. A shotgun mic and that fluffy stuff that goes over the microphone, which is called a dead cat. So I just got that whole setup now from my camera, and really, I mean, the people I have to thank for that is the viewers who watch my videos, because that allowed me to get paid from YouTube, and of course my two sponsors, Safers and Vessies, for giving me some money this year. You know, that sort of thing allows you to get better gear and get better equipment and so on and so forth. Right up until just a handful of months ago, I was using an old camera that my wife's dad gave me. This whole thing was just shot on an old hand-me-down camera. So I finally, that camera actually packed it in a number of months ago. It somehow fogged up and got compromised with moisture. It's very moist here, and it was just kind of, it still works, but it's not reliable anymore, so I had to get some new gear. So I got a new camera now, and a new mic, you know, about $400 worth of gear, which still in the film world is peanuts, but for me it's a lot, based on, you know, how I view my own personal economics and finances and so on and so forth. In terms of YouTube revenue, it's a number of months worth of revenue, because I don't make a ridiculous amount of money doing this. Anyway, I just wanted to thank you, the viewers, for watching my videos. Not only does watching my videos give me the views that results in YouTube money coming to me, but it also allows me to convince a sponsor like Vessi Seeds to give me some money. It's like, hey, look, people are watching me, and I can mention your name a few times and you give me some money, and I'll use their products in my garden, and we'll see how it works out. So I just wanted to thank you for your continued viewership, and I know there's a core group of people that just watch everything, and I'm so grateful for that. I'm also grateful for people that just tune in regularly, or even off and on when the videos are, you know, of interest to them, and the people that share my videos, and the people that have liked and subscribed and all that sort of stuff. I'm really grateful for that. It's allowed me to sort of gear up a little bit, and hopefully this will result in better videos and so on. You know, this whole thing, making videos and editing them, editing software, and I didn't know anything about this too. I'm telling you, I didn't know a thing about this. Nothing. I have no background in it at all. I've just learned a little bit here and a little bit there, and I'm hoping you notice the videos are sort of changing in terms of the way they are laid out and so on and so forth. That's just me going through the learning process. So I haven't taken any courses in this. I'm inclined to try to make them better, and over time I'm trying to do that, but it's just something you pick up on a piecemeal sort of basis. Anyway, let's get these pickles out of the ground and see what we got here. Alright, so you can see we got can you see that in the camera, the white? Yeah, you can see that, alright. That's the lid of the cooler. All this, when I put this in the ground, I put a garbage bag over the top of it to sort of keep it clean, you know, to keep it from being compromised by moisture and so on. And this is just a cooler that I found in someone's trash. This is just a cooler I found in someone's trash. The lid was broken. That is to say, the hinges on the lid were broken. And I used, I don't know, probably took me 5 minutes to fix that using some bicycle inner tube. Probably one of the most useful things to have in your shop. If there's a bike shop where you live, you'll notice that in the dumpster they throw away inner tubes all the time. And so you just, you know, every once in a while when you're near that bike shop, you back up to their dumpster and grab all the inner tubes you can find. And you've got an incredibly versatile and useful resource in those inner tubes. They're great for hinges anyway. Okay, I think we're good here. I feel like a bear digging a den here. I think we're good here. Okay, let's take the plastic off. Good. All right, now let's see if we can pry this up a bit. Actually, that's not so bad at all. I can actually see the handle there. Alright, let's do the other side. I should have had a little thing, a little hole there, maybe. Oh, good Lord. Oh my. You don't want to come up. I'll grab it like this. Yeah! Alright. Boy, it's like a grave. Whew! Reposition this like that. Just so you can see what I'm doing here. Alright. There we go. So, what do we got here? There aren't anything broken. I will say there's water in the bottom of this. I don't know how the water got in here. There's like maybe an inch or two. I don't know if any of the jars are broken. Let's just check. You see where I use these metal jars. One thing I noticed last year when I buried them underground was that the metal here got sort of rusted and stuck on. So what I did was I boiled a little bit of plastic and then put that in between the metal lid and the jar so that it wouldn't really rust on. We'll see how that works, but I'm fairly optimistic about that technique. So this cooler has a spigot at the bottom. I don't think any of these jars cracked. I think the spigot must have let water in somehow. Yeah, it must be the spigot. I don't see any cracks or any compromises here at all. So the clothes got one of these things here. It looks fairly tight, but is there a thing at the other side? No. That's the only way water could have get in, but there's water in here, right? No idea, but I'm guessing it's some sort of compromising of that spigot. So it's just something I'll have to fix for next year. But it couldn't have been too major because there was only like a 1/4 inch of water in the bottom. Not that much at all. It might have even been from just sweating and condensation of the jars. That's possible. I really don't know. The only way to find out is to stop that hole up with some rubber or something next year, and maybe encase the entire thing in a garbage bag. I don't know. But the only thing to do is to improve the way it's contained next year and give it a try again. But other than that, if you don't have the real estate in your house, lacto-fermented pickles have to stay cool in order for them to stop working. Right? You put the vegetable in a salty brine, and you leave it on your kitchen counter for about a week, and then you put it somewhere cool to slow down the fermentation, and that's how you do fermented pickles. So if it's the summer and your fridge is full, and your wife's complaining because there's no place to put anything, you got to find a place to stick them. You can pawn them off on your friends. You can give them away. Warehouse them at a friend's place, which I was lucky enough to do, and give them like a little bit. Hopefully it's a friend that likes your pickles, likes fermented pickles. I don't think you'll have any trouble finding a friend who likes fermented pickles because they taste better than the vinegar ones, certainly in my opinion. And if you go to a store, the fermented ones cost more. People will pay more for them. So not more evidence to them being better. And there's all the arguments for them being probiotic and good for your flora and all that sort of stuff. This isn't a science show, so you can look that up on your own. There's certainly ample literature on that topic. What I know is they taste really good. I really like them. And the first year I tried this approach, I was happy with it. Another good advantage of sticking them underground like this is it just sort of keeps them at that ideal temperature that they like to be at. And you know, for those that have followed my recipes and my techniques, I guess a few technical points. I think I've mentioned in the past that, you know, for a 1 quart jar of water, you need from 2 to 3 tablespoons of salt. I use 3. I just said 2 to 3 because I've read that in various places, and I'm trying to be sensitive to people that are worried about salt. But really, if you're worried about salt, you shouldn't be eating pickles at all, because the whole, you know, the technique of preserving them involves salt. So, you know, if you're going to be doing this and you want to get good results, use 3 tablespoons of salt per quart of water. That's the ratio for your brine. And you can even go a little heavier than that. If you go too heavy, the bacteria that make this whole thing happen won't be happy. But I find with 3 tablespoons, and I don't like level them off with a knife. I just scoop it and throw it in, sort of thing. With 3 tablespoons, you don't get as much of that white. Actually, you don't really get any of that white stuff on the top, that calm or whatever it's called, that white crap that starts growing on the surface of the very top. If you use enough salt, that really keeps that down. Just a few pointers there, because I don't know if I've spoken to that in previous videos. I've said to 2 to 3, and I've done it with 2, and it works in 2, but you're more likely to get that calm stuff, or comb, or whatever it's called. Actually, I just find they taste better if you use lots of salt. You know, really, you're trying to create a brine solution. There's only so much salt the water can absorb, right? If you remember your grade 10 or 11 or 12 science, a thing like a salt in an element like, or a molecule like water, water can only take up so much salt, and then it becomes saturated, and there's a point where it just wants to take on more salt, right? So the water can only take on so much salt, and so if you go beyond that, it's not going to take any more. And of course, the pickles are going to get their salt from the water, so there's not going to be any issues. So anyway, this seems to have worked out great. I feel like I should crack one of these open and try one on camera here. I don't really need to open a pickle jar, but let's just do it anyway. So I'll take one of these ones. I have found these plastic lids to be great. Again, you're not canning here. This is a little bit different. You're fermenting. So it's not about creating a vacuum inside here, right? You've got a thing that's alive in here, and you're trying to keep the thing that's growing in here alive. And by virtue of that, it keeps all the bad things out. And through some sort of magic that I don't quite understand, and I'm not going to explain, it dramatically slows down the degradation of the vegetable you're trying to preserve. In this case, a cucumber. So let's crack this open, if I can. There we go. That was a little bit better than last time if you watched that one. All right, so let's do a smell. It smells like pickles to me. I haven't got the cleanest hands ever, but that's never stopped me before. All right, so we got one of the pickles. I always, if you watch my pickling videos, I have a couple pickles on top that one of my viewers suggested should be called sacrificals. You can still eat them. I'll eat this one here, but usually the couple of pickles on top are lesser in quality to the ones that are a little bit below, because sometimes they get exposed to the air. Right, the ones that are below have got the proper conditions for good pickling. Anyway, this is still fine and still seems reasonably firm. Oh man, that's good. Actually, I'm going to move into the camera. You can't smell this, and you can't taste it, but you can hear this. I'm about 2 feet from the mic. I don't know if you can hear this. Oh, salty, crunchy, dill, garlic. It's good. That's everything you want from a pickle. Great. All right, so poor man's root cellar works fine. If you can find an old cooler that someone's thrown out, let me show you, just for those that didn't watch that video, the hinges I fashioned right? I just screwed them into some rubber, some patch of rubber there. That's all I needed to do to repair this. Right? Somebody threw out a perfectly good cooler, and I saw it on my way to work, threw it in my trunk. Did I got an idea what I can do with that? Poor man's root cellar. Takes about 5 minutes to dig a hole. Use an old cooler you got kicking around, or find someone else's that they throw in the trash. Put your stuff in the cooler, put it in the ground, cover it up, and you don't need to buy another fridge. You're going to save that money if you're really into fermenting. You know, I probably do about over 10 gallons of pickles a year, and I run out of space in my fridge, and you got to keep them cool. And you put them down into Mother Earth, and she'll keep them just right for you, right? Depending on where you are and how hot it is, you have to adjust the depth. I'm in zone 6A, and I'd say I dug a hole about 2 feet deep here. So the pickles were about, you know, the tops of the jars were about a foot below the surface. And, you know, a maximum year, the frost might, you know, if you're digging fence posts and stuff like that, they'll say dig it 3 feet or 4 feet here, because the frost can go down that deep. So if I was to be extremely diligent, I should have gone down over 3 feet. But I have found that in lots of cases, it's actually rare that the frost gets down that deep here, especially in a sort of protected forested area where you've got lots of stuff on the ground and, you know, different kind of insulative materials like leaves and things like that. I found it tends to only freeze down about a foot, generally speaking. Don't quote me on that, right? That's what I found here where I am. So you have to adjust things to where you are and experiment a little bit. And I'm sure if I did this every year for my entire life, there'd be one year where everything froze in the ground because it was just an exceptionally cold year. I'm gambling, right? So if you do what I say and it doesn't work, bear in mind that I'm being a little bit lazy here, and I'm gambling that it'll be okay. Certainly if you get them out of the ground, and I'm only speaking to if you're going to leave them in the ground all winter long, right? Certainly if you're going to get them out of the ground in November, early December, you'll be fine in zone 6A. So if you're in zone 5, get them out a little bit earlier than that, and if you're in zone 7, you can wait a little later. If you're in zone 8, you can probably leave them there all year, right? So anyway, look into that, and if you enjoyed this content and this gave you some good ideas, please like, share, subscribe, check out my podcasts and all that good stuff. I really appreciate the subscriptions and the regular watching and the viewership. It's allowed me to sort of continue to build and upgrade, and motivates me to keep you know, keep the regular viewers, the regular videos coming and that sort of thing. I don't make a living doing this. I've got a regular day job. This is just something I do on the side for fun, because I really enjoy talking about gardening, and I enjoy sharing that with you, and I enjoy all the comments. I enjoy the whole process. So thanks for watching, thanks for viewing, and until next time, get out there, get at it, have fun in your garden. Thanks for watching.